Silicon Valley, technology, art, green, and sustainability. Hi, welcome to another episode of Silicon Valley Tech, Art, Green, and Sustainability. Today I have a gentleman who's been here in the Valley for a long time. He's an entrepreneur. You've worked with many companies. I'm going to let you go ahead and tell everybody all the companies you've worked with. And you're doing some pretty interesting stuff right now. Bow Rodgers, thank you for joining us.
Heather, thank you. Just a quick bio. I was born and raised here in the Bay Area, in San Francisco, educated here in
I didn't know that you were
Valley.
Born and raised in San Francisco.
Absolutely, and I've spent all my business career here in Silicon Valley, aside from a trip to Vietnam, courtesy of the United States government. But so my whole life has really been in and around technology here in Silicon Valley.
Yeah, well, you've worked at some pretty amazing companies. I'm looking at this Sprint Telecommunications, Interactive Network, PowerTV, a Scientific Atlantic, Cisco Company.
Yes.
So, and then we met when we were at West Coast Green a few years ago, and go a little deeper into your bio and some of the things you've been doing.
I think I've been an enterprise guy with big companies like either Apple or Sprint, and I've also been a startup guy. And I think, frankly, at this part of my business juncture, the startups are very engaging and appealing to me. To take the experiences I've had and then to see the innovative ideas, you can get quicker traction with a startup company than you can a big enterprise company. So I'm really trying to push into the clean tech area. We've done that with ELV Motors, electric light vehicle motors, with electric battery-driven products, and pushing into wireless mesh networks for lighting and smart grid technology. So those are just some of the areas we're pushing into.
Well, yeah, I met you at West Coast Green, I think it was 2009, and you were with the ELV Motors then.
ELV.
ELV.
Yeah.
And actually I have a great clip of us, and we'll have to show that at some other point, of us riding your bikes with a group of people that came, and they all wanted to ride the bikes, and it was the close at Fort Mason. It's a great company. And do you do some angel investing too? Have you done that in the past, or have you connected as a CEO of companies? You've done that?
Yes.
Yeah, and you're still doing that. Your hands are in everything. You do a lot of stuff. Talk about the West Coast Green and your experience there with your electrical bikes.
I think you need, if you're really an angel and you're really trying to do things, you need to put your money where your mouth is, and that was to get an electric vehicle company started and moving here in Silicon Valley. And what became obvious to us, my partner Doug Schwartz and myself, was to take a look at Europe, where in 2005, 200,000 electric bikes were sold. And in 2009, 500,000 electric bikes were sold. And in 2010, 700,000. They appear to be going over 1 million here soon.
And this is in Europe?
This is in Europe. In China, it's exploding. They've sold in China in 2010, 25 million electric bikes. Americans love their cars. But I think we've got to wean ourselves off of cars for a variety of reasons, sustainability primarily. But if you can give people a mode of transportation that's clean and fun and easy to use, such as electric bikes, electric scooters, we can make some real headway. And the key point that drove me was most of us do all of our commuting in and around 5 miles.
We do.
We don't need to turn the ignition on a big 450 horsepower vehicle every time we want to go to the store.
Let's go ahead and bring the first slide up. And the first slide, again, you're in kind of all these spaces, VC, Angel, Clean Tech, we got Smart Grid here, transportation. You can go ahead and go to the next slide. And when we met, this is the company you were working with, and you're still working with. And I love the bike on the left there. It's a collapsible bike, right?
It is, yeah.
And I think Doug came to, you can take that slide down. Doug came to one of the green chamber meetings one time with that, and he unfolded it and stuck it out. And it's such a neat thing and convenient, right? You can throw it in your backpack.
Or get on the Caltrain, or get on the bus, or get on something, and then when you're near work, you unfold it and go to work.
Yeah, so it's great. And you know, I think with all the new green technologies coming up and some of the new construction going on, I'm hoping more of the companies will think about the showers at these buildings they're building. You know, because for me, you know, a gal, I like to do a little futzing. It would be so nice if some of the places that you went to, yeah, you can get out and you can clean up and then go to your meeting, and you're not going to be all grimy. And you know, and a lot of people are starting to think about that. So I think that this is going to be a technology that yes, I think that we're going to embrace in America more.
Well, you actually gave me a little lead-in, because with the electric bike and no need for pedaling, while you can be as pretty as you are getting to work without pedaling the bike.
You still got to brush your hair from the wind,
well,
right?
The wind is a different story, but you can use your electric bike without pedaling. And frankly, we were down at the IBM facility in Almaden Valley, and there's a big steep hill that goes up to the IBM facility. And some of the engineers were riding their electric bikes, and they loved it. They were going right by the fellows who were pushing that really needed the shower afterward. So that is one advantage to electric bikes.
That is, yeah. Not having to go into meetings smelling.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it was. I actually rode them around Fort Mason, and they were just great bikes. And you're so right. I mean, for myself, I take meetings down at the Capitol Club in San Jose, and it's probably 2 miles from my house. You know, I could walk there. But normally don't because you have your laptop or whatever with you. So this is a great alternative. So tell us a little bit more about that. There's a folding bike. I guess it's folding, and then
sure,
some other things.
There's a variety of bikes that we started coming out with. I'd put some in the high-end exotic bikes. Some were in the fun, fast bikes.
What do you mean by high-end exotic?
Well, they had, carbon fiber bodies, and they were not necessarily as practical as you would need, okay? And
so the guy that has 30 bikes and
or
wants
the
a little
Tesla
sporty,
or something like that, a pre-IPO or post-IPO situation. But what becomes very practical in our mind is that foldable bike where you can get on the train and you're 1 mile from Google or Facebook or wherever you're going.
And it can fold down and you're not taking up a lot of room.
Very small, collapses in about 10 seconds, unfolds, and on it you get. So what we're trying to do is continue that last mile by not having to use any particular diesel engine or anything gas engine to get you there. So use mass transit, use your electric folding bike, and really be holistically clean.
I think pull up one more photo right now too. So I love this. You see these around. I actually want one of these for SVTAGS. So you have some signage that you could do for people too. Are you guys doing that, or do you outsource that?
No, we do. In fact, it's a little bit of a scoop, but we've got an opportunity right here in this area to use that to draw attention to downtown San Jose for some business opportunities. So we're kind of excited about that. But in other words, anytime you can bring visibility to clean and fun and line up those two things, that's a good thing for the environment.
Right. Well, I love the pedicabs downtown San Jose.
Yeah.
Whenever we go from place to place, we usually take those instead of piling in the car.
Yeah.
The electrical bikes. Someone rides from San Jose to Mountain View. How long does it take to charge it?
Well, the electric bike normally takes about 4 hours to charge, and there are lithium-ion batteries. The technology has gotten better. Maybe not Moore's law for those of the people familiar with computers and the technology and chip circuit design.
So it's not advancing as fast as that.
Not as fast, but it certainly is improving. And you're seeing the Teslas of the world and the Volts and the Nissan Leafs really advancing that technology. That's getting passed right through to electric bikes. And one of the things we're trying to do at ELV Motors is create a uniform battery. In other words, it's a footprint or a size of a battery which you can take to your apartment, charge, bring it back down the next day, and you're good to go. Normally it's
or
about
if you go to
4
work
hours.
at wherever, then you can charge it while you're there for 8 hours, 9 hours,
exactly.
And then you're good.
Exactly, yeah, and that's really clean.
That's great. So anything else about the transportation industry you want to share? I know you also were working on some charging stations in Hawaii, or are you still working on that?
Yes, however, I think there are much bigger companies that have pushed beyond where we were. If you look at Hawaii, Heather, Hawaii, because it's an isolated group of islands a long way off of the West Coast, 90% of all of its energy is imported. And so that's a real blueprint test case that if we can make sustainable cars and self-charging stations, et cetera, in and around malls and business areas, this is a great way to say if it can be done there, why can't we take that same idea and move it to Los Angeles or to Cleveland or other cities?
Or downtown San Jose.
Or downtown San Jose, whichever you prefer. So